Most entrepreneurs assume the biggest factory is the safest bet. And on the surface, that makes sense. But after placing orders with hundreds of factories in China, I started to notice something different. Bigger doesn't always mean safer. Sometimes it just means you're a small fish in a very big pond. My name is Dwayne Scott, and I've spent 13 years on the ground in China, building supply chain systems across cities from Shenzhen to Shanghai. And over time, I started to see where this assumption breaks. You're not choosing a supplier, you're stepping into a system. So, in this video, I want to walk you through a shift from thinking like a buyer to thinking more like an architect, someone who designs their supply chain. And I'll show you the simple framework I use now, what I call the Goldilocks approach. To explain it, let me take you back to a moment that forced me to rethink everything. April 2016, Canton Fair. I meet Amanda. She's working at a large bag factory in Guangzhou. Professional, she's clocking 10 years or more of experience. I begin vetting her factory, filtering and funneling them through my Lao Ban protocol. One question turns into two. 5 minutes turns into 2 hours. I start getting really comfortable. And naturally, I start leaning towards placing an order. They had systems in place. But Amanda, smelling blood, she suggests dinner. And to be honest, after a month in China, a Western style meal, that sounded pretty good. Dinner was great on the Pearl River, overlooking the Canton Tower. Easy conversation, everything felt aligned. The next day, I visit the factory. It's my due diligence. It checks all the boxes. Large facility, multiple floors, hundreds of workers, established systems, big name customers, Disney, Costco. And I remember thinking, this is it. This is the kind of factory you build with. So I place a trial order. It goes well. We scale up and a repeat order the following year, 2,000 units. Then a real situation comes up. I had orders spread across multiple suppliers in different parts of China, from Yiwu to Shantou, Xiamen, Chenzhou, Fuzhou. I needed to consolidate everything into one container. Amanda's bags had the biggest CVM, more than half a 40-foot container. Logically, her factory made the most sense as a loading point. So I messaged her, "Can I send cartons to your facility for consolidation?" She replies, "Sorry, all the workers are busy right now." Okay. So I reach out to the owner directly, the Lao Ban. I offered to cover the labor, pay the workers for their time. The response was the same. No availability. Workers are focused on larger clients. No flexibility, no room to move. And in that moment, something became very clear. Not emotionally, just structurally. I wasn't a priority in their system. At the same time, a much smaller factory, about 40 workers, one I had only worked with for samples, hears about the situation and they say, "Send it over here, we'll help you." But I had no contract with them, no leverage, no immediate upside. They just had a genuine willingness to help. And that's when I had to step back and rethink everything. Up until then, I was optimizing for scale and reputation. But what I experienced was something different. Large factories are optimized for efficiency. They have rigid systems, processes, volume, targets, and they prioritize their biggest customers. Smaller factories, they operate differently. They're optimizing for growth. New startups and relationships are a top priority. That's when the second realization hit. I didn't choose the wrong factory. I just didn't have a system. Everything was concentrated in one place. So the shift became this. Instead of asking, who looks the most impressive? I started asking, how do I create a flexible system, not dependent on one input, but a system that can ebb and flow, flexibility, and adaptability. And that's the Goldilocks zone. Not too big, not too small, just right for your business. So I simplified this into a framework I still use today. Number 1, find a small to medium factory. I call it a medium factory. 25 to 50 workers, minimum 2 production lines. 3 is even better. Big enough to produce, small enough to care. Number 2, access to the decision maker, the Lao Ban, not just a sales rep. Because when problems happen, access matters more than process. This is how you turn a factory from an operator into an operational asset. Number 3, USA or European customers. This ensures they're familiar with the quality control standards of Western markets like Amazon and Walmart. And number 4, fair, sustainable agreements, not the lowest price. Because when margins are respected, relationships hold under pressure and they deepen over time. So what happened next? That smaller factory, the one that helped with no obligation, that was Alan and his factory, Amazing Action. Over time, they became my primary partner. For over 8 years, we grew from small orders, 1,200 pieces, to over 20,000. And the relationship evolved beyond transactions. He's helped me solve problems with other factories, introduced me to his network, customs agents, freight forwarders, you name it. We support each other. There's trust on both sides. And over time, it became more than business. Now we're like family. I recently attended his 50th birthday, a close-knit dinner with his immediate family. And that's really the shift. Supply chains aren't just systems. They're built on people, built on relationships. The Chinese, they call this Guangxi. So, if you're sourcing, don't just ask, who's got the cheapest price? Instead, ask, who's going to grow with me? Who am I investing in as a business partner for the long term? Because the right factory isn't just a supplier. They become an asset. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, check out our 7-step funneling system right up here for some more tips, strategies, and mindset of how you can choose a capable factory and turn them into an operational asset to support your brand and your business.